In this video, I'll be talking about the comparisons between fourth place and third place at the 2022 Wellness Olympia. Let's do this. How's it going, everybody? Johnny Styles here with the Wellness Observer Live. And we are a few days after the storm has passed in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the 2022 Wellness Olympia has just wrapped up and it's in the history books. And in this video, I'll be talking to you guys about third place and fourth place. Believe it or not, as much as commotion has gone through some competitors that didn't do so well and you guys want me to talk about, I gotta nail this, story too, because this is another story that has come out from this great event, and it's the battle between fourth place and third place. In fourth place, we got Cassandra, which I'm putting on screen right now. She is from Canada, great competitor, and she's basically coming in 2022 for redemption. If you don't know about redemption, Cassandra looked amazing at last year's Olympia, and deservedly so. I had her right there in that top five, maybe top four, if you want to call it that. And she ended up right outside the top eight, top nine, almost 10th, all that jazz. And you can call it that. You can call it redemption because she did, not only she clawed her way through the ranks, but in the show, nobody, including myself, nobody had her placing this low in the show. So I'm going to be talking about her, which placed fourth, and then I'm going to be talking about third place, Angela Borges. Again, I think I should, again, make a statement before I talk about this person, because for many people that don't know about Angela Borges, yes, she is a legendary wellness competitor back in the 2012, 13, 14, 15, all those years that a lot of judges, a lot of competitors, people that are getting to know the class now didn't even know she existed. A lot of girls, thousands upon thousands of girls that have competed and strived to be wellness competitors or just lifestyle competitors have followed what Angela has done throughout her career, meaning competing in the other federation. And she was pretty much what people thought was unbeatable. And in that other federation, she was being, kind of like Michael Crizo was in back then. She, in this federation, she was unbeatable. All the shows she did was pretty much lights out. And then she crosses over to the NPC / HFB Pro League in order to, I guess, settle down her career. I guess she has nothing else to prove in reality, but she's still here and she's being competitive. I mean, top two, top three in the world, and close shows like New York Pro and Pittsburgh Pro. She has done pretty well for her career, but she is not that immovable force that she was in the other federation. We'll be talking about her and comparing shots. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the competitors a little bit, just showing your guys the NPC News Online pictures. Why is that important? Because these are the real legit pictures done by my good friend Jeff Bentz for NPC News Online. And when you see these pictures, these are the real deal. No Photoshop, no fancy filters, nothing. So when you see Cassandra here, you see she has good shoulders, good, midsection. Her glute shapes out nicely on the side, good arms. I like this pose on her because she is sitting down on this leg, but you can still see these great lines on her. And this, I've always said that you gotta have to show some lines and some conditioning in order to show your quad development. When she's in transition, you can see this killer calves. If you zoom in closely, you can see this has striations on her calves. And she has worked on her hamstrings. That's very good. And I'll explain that in a little bit later, because when she turns from the back, you can see that the difference, the main difference in her, it says her outer quad good like on the lower side right here instead of like the upper side. We'll touch more on that a little bit later. But when she goes for the side, this is one of the best shots that she has. She has grown her hamstrings enough to give her this perfect width from the side. And then, you can still see these lines right here on that leg that is, for me, for my personal liking, is very, very important. Moving on to Angela Borges, pretty much the same Angela Borges that we've seen year after year after year. A lot softer on the lower body, although she has some mass in this glutes and this, in this quads. She does have some mass in there, but when she turns through the side, believe it or not, this is the picture that I found from the side. She is covering her glutes with this hand a lot. If you go back to NPC News Online, you can check that this hand is covering a lot. And it's very important. I heard Mr. Olympia, Phil Heath, talking about it, that, you guys in the Olympia, when you're up there, you're artists of, hiding your weaknesses. I wouldn't say Angela has a weakness in her glutes, but she does tend to cover up some of the side shots. When she does the transitional pose, it's very evident right here that you can see that her calves are not good. And I've talked about it many, many times in my shows. And, her glutes were there, extremely pumped from the top to bottom. Again, a lot softer than I would like to see her, or I've seen her before. Calves are absolutely non-existent. I did take this shot from the night show because I didn't find anything on the prejudging, but here she did move her hand and people could see at least what was going on her side posing. So that's pretty much a wrap up between those two individually. And the reason I'm putting Cassandra first and then I'm putting Cassandra on the left side of the screen is because in the prejudging and in the night show, the judges had them this way. As you see, they had Cassandra on the left side and they always left Angela on the right side. And then in the night show, they had them separately on each other's sides. It's very important for people watching that the order it was placed, this could change no matter what, but it all has to be some type of consistency, right? You got your teardrop right here with the glute ham teardrop, very smaller, not as long as Francielli, not as long as Isa, not as long as Giselle. You can say that Angela Borges is the odd girl out in this situation. So when they go to the side, you can tell that, all these girls have great glute, ham, quad, development. That's not a matter of that. It just comes down to how everybody looks. And to Angela's point, she does have a good midsection. Okay, she can do a proper vacuum, and she can just nail it. When we did the night show, this is what I was telling you guys earlier. They left Cassandra on the left side, and then placed Angela all the way to the right. You can tell that Francielle and Isa's conditioning got better at night. Meanwhile, Angela got worse. And then Cass was still pretty good. So a lot of confusion that we're going to be talking about right now. And if you place them together, this is comparison shots from the NPC News Online. I would say that, shoulder width, muscularity width. I like Cass. I don't like this shoulder. It's a little bit under. It makes her not give a whole squared look. See how Angela's shoulders are squared up? I would like Cass to have that square shoulders. Both of them have good mix sections. I'll give this to Angela. She has good mix section. On the lower part of the body, I like Cassandra's because, again, I would like to see lines and definition on her. And Angela, there was non-existent. If you do the quarter turns right here, again, I like Cassandra's shoulder. She's a little bit crooked on the head, not as squared as Angela, but I like this look on her. I also like the side leg, which you can tell that, again, has some muscle definition, and Angela doesn't have any. Again, she has great freaking calves. Angela has none. And when we go to the back, they say shows out warm from the back, It's pretty dead on. Cassandra has her one in the calves by miles. When you're gonna see the quads, the outer sweep of the quads, notice that Cass has the big sweep coming from down up, but Angela seems to have a longer sweep from the top down. So you could say Angela does have bigger quads from the back than Cassandra. And of course, Angela has these super full glutes that, I guess nowadays it's considered one of her trademark moves. If you're going to call it like it is, and we're going to talk about, I was waiting for this so this video to show up. I did my comparisons right here, and a lot of you have talked to me about Cassandra's posing. And I'll say this. Yes, if I had Cassandra right here on the TV right now, I will tell her the same thing. I think her posing needs work. Her walking on stage needs to get better. Her overall flow while she's posing needs to get better. Now, is that a proper, does that take enough for a judge to take her out of the top three? I don't think so. It's one of those things that you got to put into, this. Remember, there's not just one judge. There's a couple of them. In this front pose, if you go pose by pose, I have Cassandra winning, because in this pose, the only thing that Angela has going for her is her midsection. Again, she is not conditioned enough. If you're going to turn to the back, if you see these transitional poses, I like Cassandra better. Not only she seems more conditioned, she seems harder. And again, if you're going to put it to the test, I'm going to, not only did I slow this down for you, I put it in slow motion and then closed up, so you guys can see. This is real. This is real video from the real show. Extremely high definition for you guys to see. Of course, Hilco Productions was there, and you can see the whole 9 yards on his Instagram. But again, I asked all of you which were your thoughts on Instagram, and pretty much 98% just called it like it is and said you guys liked cast. You guys liked conditioning. You guys liked more muscle, less, Angela brought in less conditioning, and they still gave her, a top three in the world, which in reality is a question to be asked. Now, you at home, who do you guys have? You can comment on this YouTube video below. I am trying to be very fair here because, again, remember, I've judged before, and I know at least how I see things, and I know how you guys at home see things. Again, before we leave, I want you to see this picture from the night show in which people are saying, oh, Angela's resembles a little bit of the conditioning that, Isa had and Franciela had. Absolutely not. That is not true. If you see this picture, if you look up close and personal, you can see that Franciela and Isa had way better conditioning than Angela. So you cannot compare Angela to these two because they're way far more extreme conditioned than what she is. In any case, you would have compared Cass to them, or you could have compared Ryan Fogal, or you could have compared them to. Because if you see that picture that I posted right here, when they all turn to the back, you can clearly say that I would have probably Giselle fighting with Angela, and I would have Ryan probably fighting with Cass for that third spot, because it follows what you see on stage. And specifically from all these 3, 5, or 6 girls, they all have great casts except for Angela Borges. They all have good conditioning except for Angela and Giselle. So that's my opinion on that. I would have had, the judges have control. And a friend of mine called, Sean Roden, Mr. Olympia, may God rest, his soul. I always remember that, he had a saying that said, when the show is done, smile and wave. No matter what you got, second, third, fourth, smile and wave, and on to the next one. That's how you have to get it. I don't, necessarily have to agree with the judge's decision, but I guess I have to respect it because it is what it is. That's their final decision. Hopefully we can get more answers. And if we don't get any answers, the show is done. You take it for what it is. Cassandra got redemption. Angela is still, battling with top 3, top 4. And, who knows, until when we'll see her. I've always said that her legendary status will always stay in the wellness ranks. Does she have anything else to prove? I don't think so. Can her calves get better? I don't think so. Can her package get any better? I don't think so. I think we can say that she will look exactly the same, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for following. We're up to 3K right here, 3,000 subscribers on the Wellness Observer YouTube. Thank you so much. If you're listening or watching on Spotify and iTunes, thank you so much for watching there. Thanks again. The Godfather of Wellness appreciates you, and I hope all of you have a very, very good holidays and receive the very best from Santa Claus or whoever comes down the chimney or whatever. This has been Johnny Styles, the Godfather of Wellness. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.